Welcome back to MTG Grinders. We're Friday Night Magic Modern here, and this is the final between Trent and Tyler. And we've already seen Trent earlier on the night, so we know he's playing Esper good stuff, or the best of Esper, or
the greatest hits, pretty much. Lingering Souls,
Volume
Tassiga, Hand Disruption, all that kind of stuff.
And I believe Tyler's on Grixis Delver.
That will be interesting to see.
Very, very interesting.
He's led off with a Serum Visions.
And nicely enough, they've moved the dice down to the bottom so we can see the life totals. So that's really helpful. Passes back to Tyler after the Marsh Flats comes out. We'll wait to see what Tyler does. I think we might see another Serum Visions or something like that. Probe.
Looks at his hand, gets a bit of information, draws a card.
And what have we got there? We've got two Thought Scours.
Mana Leak, Tectonic Edge.
Lingering Path to Exile. So not the most aggressive hand ever there from Trent. However, he's got a lot of gas and can draw into a lot of things. Deal with a couple of threats if need be.
Those Thought Scours will set up Tassiga nicely if he manages to draw one.
So end of turn, sacks the Marsh Flats and
gets a Watery Grave.
Puts a Watery Grave in the play. And we know that it'll help with the Thought Scours and also the Tassiga if he happens to draw into that, or any Murderous Cuts, or if Trent's playing those.
Well, Trent's fired off
the nod in the background.
Thought Scour there, hits a Lingering Souls and a Restoration Angel.
We can't really see what's in Trent's hand there. Didn't really show it to us, although it looks like a fetch land.
Polluted Delta by the looks of it.
Yep. And so he's just having a think about what he wants to play before he puts it out. Comes out with said Polluted Delta and ships a turn back to...
There's a card that sees a bit of play in Modern that I don't think sees been in play in Medical, called Shadow of Doubt, which is really good against fetch lands.
What does that one do?
Players can't search their library this turn. Draw a card. It's for 2 hybrid black or blue.
So wait for him to sack it, throw that off.
Down a land, lose a life.
Yep. My favourite card against sack lands is Suppression Field, where they've got to pay 3. They've got to pay 2 to sack it, plus the land itself, so they're not doing a lot of fetching early on in the game.
No, I think there's also an Aven that...
Aven Mind Sensor?
That's the one.
They can only search the top 3 cards.
3 or 4, something like that.
Top 4, we've been told.
By the powers that be.
Well, I don't know if I want to give them that much credit.
I'm happy to give credit where credit's due these days.
But we've got a bit of land to go here, really. Land, draw some cards, go. Hopefully we'll see a bit of gas from these players shortly to start spicing things up. But that's not the gas that we're looking for. Unfortunately, the gas went to the graveyard in the form of Tassiga.
I think he just drew another one, though, did he?
I think he could have, actually.
I saw a black card.
So is he going to try and come out with it nice and early? Probably not, because you're playing against Delver. They play Mana Leaks, they play Remands, among other counter spells.
And Tyler doesn't make many mistakes. He likes to sit and he pulls the trigger at the last minute.
Yep. Although he is giving it some serious consideration, looking for 5 cards that he can delve away, putting the Tassiga in for 1, leaving the counterspell mana open in the meantime.
Well, counterspell is not legal in Modern at the moment, but we've got Silumgar's Scorn back, but I reckon more likely it'll be a remand.
Well, that's still a counterspell.
I call it Disruption. Counterspell itself.
And here it comes. There's the remand. Trent's got 2 land available to him if he wants it. He's certainly got to have gone through this situation in his hand prior to casting the Tassiga, you would think.
Yes, he's gone through this in his head, and I think he already knows his play. He's just double checking everything.
We're probably looking for is that a mana leak that we can see?
Yes, the trusty old mana leak.
And Tyler certainly doesn't have the mana to pay that extra 3 from the mana leak. One of my favourite counter spells.
It is very effective, good and late game these days.
Although Tyler might have something up his sleeve here, like I'm going to say spell snare. Although I haven't seen Tyler's hand.
Spell snare, spell pierce.
Spell pierce.
Could be either one, but it's a spell snare.
Yep. Countering the mana leak, and eventually countering the Tasiga as well. So that was a bit of a counter spell war there. Very well played by Tyler. And will Tyler now counteract with a threat of his own? Obviously he's looking for something like a Delver to get him started on that track of reducing Trent's life total. Both players still at 20.
Can you see, does Tyler have a black source out at the moment?
I still think we're just looking both at red and blue there. Yeah, certainly Vintage's, Legacy's favourite colour combination. Red and blue.
Oh, I must have, because...
Now, is that an Angler?
Yes, that is an Angler.
A Gurmag Angler?
5/5 for
And he's only got
8.
the one in the deck. So he's found the one of Angler, and he must have the black land there that we can't see under the island to be able to put that into play. So he doesn't have a Tasiga, but goes, no, don't worry, I've got a 5/5 Delve creature of my own. Now we know Trent's got a Path to Exile in hand that he's brought to the forefront of his hand.
That will deal with it as good as any card.
And we'll see if he wants to fire that off straight away. Why Tyler may be a little light on responsive mana. So he grabs a Misty Rainforest.
It's not a Misty. I think that's just a blue-black check land.
Right.
Or is it a Creeping Tar Pits? Ground cover card.
So when he's still messing around with that Path to Exile in his hand.
He's going for flashing back the Lingering Souls.
Giving himself a couple tokens to
Chump block
with.
That works well. As Angler does not have trample, so a 1/1 does stop 5/5 for a turn.
Well, it does for a turn. The Angler might eat it.
As a zombie fish does.
Yep. And end of turn, we've got a Thought Scour from Tyler. Just looking to mill a few cards of his own.
Refuel that other resource known as his graveyard in this game.
Trying to find a Tasiga of his own, possibly. Ooh, and there we go. Before the untap.
No, it'll be the upkeep.
The upkeep?
I think is where Trent's done that.
So upkeep Path to Exile. Because he doesn't want Tyler to have the untapped land. So that land, rather than doing it in the end step where Tyler gets to then untap the land, he's done it in the upkeep, and that land stays tapped for the turn, trying to give himself just a minor advantage there for the one turn. And Tyler goes straight for the Zendikar Swamp.
It's quite funny how some Magic players value the lands so highly just to make them look nice, and then other people will rock up with white borders.
Yeah, I love going to tournaments with all white bordered lands.
There are some people who will give you the death stare for that.
Yep. But Zendikar lands, they're up around $2, $2.50 now. I think we're all sort of hoping that they get reprinted in some way, shape or form.
Battle for Zendikar.
In Battle for Zendikar, I've got two people sitting behind me, one of them nodding and the other one shaking their head.
So we've got multiple people on different sides of the fence for grinders on that.
Absolutely. I personally missed out on Zendikar first time around, so I'm looking forward to Full Art lands, and also to Eldrazi. Bring them back, I say. I want spaghetti legs, and lots of them.
We need to see like a spider Eldrazi then.
I want to see like a mini spaghetti legs, like a baby spaghetti legs. You know, a 15-15, but when he gets targeted, he makes 15-1-1 squirrels.
And that is why no one from Grinders will ever work for R&D.
That's it. Alrighty, back to the game. The Angler went to the path to exile, obviously.
Spirit tokens got cleaned up by the Electrolyze.
Yes. And we're delving away a few more cards here, possibly for another Tasica, I would think. So Tasica number 2 is what we're looking at here. And there he is, hitting the board.
Obviously, no. Trent's looking to use that ability to get Mana Leak back, because I think he exiled a Lingering Souls there.
Certainly exiled everything else. Now, I know these guys, I believe, are playing Snapcaster Mages, though we haven't seen any of them yet.
Well, that would also explain why he has kept the Mana Leak in there, because I think that's been a staple play for a long time, Snapcaster, Mana Leak or Remand.
Yep, absolutely. And possibly why I got rid of the Lingering Souls as well, because Tyler could Snapcaster into Electrolyze and getting rid of those tokens. As you can see there, Tyler certainly values the Electrolyze, leaving it in the bin whilst delving for Murderous Cut to get rid of Tasica number 2.
Was there a reason there that Tasica went to the exile pile and not the graveyard after that Murderous Cut?
No, just a play mistake there, obviously. Certainly more useful in the graveyard at this point in time than the exile pile.
There's very few cards that are better in the exile pile, except for maybe Torrent Elemental.
Torrent Elemental, and then we've got an Inquisition of Kozilek to have a look at Tyler's hand, and we'll be able to sort of see where the entire game's at now that we'll be able to see Tyler's hand. He keeps it very close to his chest while playing these games on camera, and we can't really see what's in his hand, so it'll be interesting to see what is there. Now I think I can see a third Tasica in Trent's hand as well. So he may be trying to pave the way for that third Tasica.
Tyler looks like he's going to fight over this.
Yeah.
With the Snapcaster.
Snapcaster Mage into Electrolyze. Drawing a card.
Dealing 2 points of damage.
No, he just decides not to bring anything back and lets the Inquisition resolve. We can see Lightning Bolt, Thought Scour.
Thought Scour's the one that goes.
I think that's the right move as well.
Yes, well, Thought Scour fuels the graveyard, draws a card. Lightning Bolt is just 3 points of damage, and Trent's got a fair bit of life to work with at the moment.
Sure, and Trent goes to 15. In this matchup, damage from Lightning Bolt isn't really doing much. Double Lightning Bolt will take him down to 9. He'd then need to find still another 9 points of burn at that point in time. So I really don't think the Lightning Bolt is...
it's not pressuring at the moment, but...
Although Double Lightning Bolt does get rid of a third Tasica.
That is true.
He will die to Double Lightning Bolt.
And with Tyler's deck, we do know there's Delvers, because we can see one at the top of the exile pile there. If he had gone turn 1 Delver and got a few swings in, it would have been a totally different game without those Lightning Bolts.
Now, Trent and Tyler have played each other a lot.
Countless times.
In Bendigo. They're good mates, and to be completely honest, they often sit at the top end of the spectrum in Friday Night Magics and game days and things like that.
That's the old-fashioned cool kids table, if you will.
So we do, see them play on camera a lot. They know each other's decks and style of play a lot.
Yes, Tyler usually tends to run something with red in it, and
yep.
Trent usually goes with something with islands.
That's right, and that's why I sideboard Choke. And neither of them seem to really like that particular card. And here's the Tasica coming out. We know Tyler's got double lightning bolt. Now this is the third Tasica that we've seen. And double lightning bolt will take him out if that's what Tyler wants to do. That said, if he does do that, it empties his hand. We can see Trent with 2 cards still in hand. We're unsure what they are.
Yeah, I think Trent knows that as well. I don't think he's going to throw in an attack though, because otherwise it's a Snapcaster and Lightning Bolt for Tasica, which is a much better trade at this point.
So he's looking to use the ability to gain card advantage at this point in time.
That's what I'd be thinking.
And will we see the double lightning bolt from Tyler?
No, he's drawn a Terminate.
Terminate. Off the top of the deck.
Destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated.
And comes in for 2 points of damage. Now that's the first swing I think that we've seen in this match, and follows that up with a Delver of Secrets as well.
That was a good turn for Tyler. It's got him in good position that he needs to now capitalise on.
Very much so, and that puts a bit of a clock on. Lingering Souls from Trent there. Trent's down to 11, Tyler on 15. They'll certainly do their fair share of blocking, I think, the Lingering Souls at this point in time. Can flash them back as well for a couple more tokens, if need be.
Tyler's still got 6 points of burn in his hand too, which is now half Trent's life.
Yes.
As we see, a great view of the back of Trent's head as he reads a few cards.
And the camera refocuses there. Alright, I'm trying to find out what's in Trent's hands. I think there's a Path to Exile there.
I think he was considering casting something in the upkeep then, but decided against it.
Now, we know Tyler's got the 2 lightning bolts, so that's 6 points damage. He needs to find another 5 points damage. You don't take out both tokens here. You've got your Delver of Secrets, which you're trying to flip over. I don't think you take out both tokens and attack through at this point in time. Nope, there's another Delver of Secrets. So you're now trying to flip both of them.
Tyler's now got only 2 cards in hand, so he passes a turn back. No trade is good there for him.
Yep.
I think he needs to wait until he can reveal and turn the Delvers into 3/2 flyers.
Absolutely. And Trent considers attacking. Yep, definitely attacks there, because he's got the flashback of the Lingering Souls for the blockers if need be. And there it is. So he comes through for the 2 points of damage, dropping Tyler down to 13, and flashing back the Lingering Souls, putting that into exile for 2 more 1/1 flyers.
I think I just saw Remand in Trent's hand. Spell which isn't the best, but it's another card and it will deal with any big threat.
Let's see if we see the top of Tyler's deck this turn.
He looks, does not reveal, so they don't trigger. He draws.
This game's been going on for a while now, so it'll be interesting to see if they get through all 3 games.
They will be pushed on time.
Despite the fact that they are both playing relatively fast as well. A Delver deck can come out a lot quicker than this, and usually does.
That is true, but both these players are both well aware of time, and they've both played long, grindy matches before. I don't think it really bothers either one of them.
Tyler decides he's going to actually do something this turn. And
Young Pyromancer.
Puts out a Young Pyromancer, and we know he's got the 2 lightning bolts in there, so he can start make a whole bunch of tokens as if this resolves. Doesn't look like it's going to though. Gets remanded back to the hand. Trent draws a card, and Tyler can think about doing that again if he wishes.
Snare by the looks of it, which matches up very well for this play.
There it comes out again. Trent just pretty much throws the spell snare out the board.
Oh, it was a very good top deck, I think. I think that's what you want to see up a remand.
Life total is 11 versus 13. Trent's turn. He's got the 4 Lingering Souls tokens there now. 3 cards in hand.
Double Thought Scour, I think.
Thought Scour himself. Milling away 2 unneeded land, which is a pretty good Thought Scour, to be completely honest. And let's see if he decides to enter the red zone with any of his creatures this turn. Oh, one of the cards he's got is a Liliana in hand.
Which Liliana is it? Is it of the Veil?
Of the Veil, yep. They're the ones I can't afford. So
along with most of people.
How expensive are they now, guys?
About $100.
$100 a pop there. So you know they're up around they're half of Tarmogoyf at this point in time.
So we've seen a bit of money on camera tonight. We've seen Lewis's lent at Tarmogoyf's.
Yep.
And now Liliana. And well, if we're talking about money, Scalding Tarns are seeing about 50 odd.
Yep. And Tyler's had to sacrifice a creature via the Liliana, and I think that's a Path to Exile in hand. But Trent comes in for 2, dropping Tyler to 11, so it's now 11 all. And Tyler's still got the double Lightning Bolt in hand.
Good Taxian Probe. Revealing, not actually casting here, so he can flip the Delvers. So they become 3/2.
Now, if you can double Lightning Bolts the 2 untapped Lingering Souls token, you can attack through for 6, putting Trent to 5.
I think if you're going to do that, well, his cast Taxian Probe, so anyway, I guess to see, but I think you would attack through with both. Trent would try a double block to remove one, in which you lightning strike one of them.
Yep.
And then hold the other strike for when you need it. Would be my play, but I have a feeling that might not be the correct route.
And if you're Tyler, you really want to draw into another Electrolyze here.
Another Electrolyze.
You know, draw a card, take out two tokens, smash through for 6.
Yeah, so Trent's got a remand, and
As I said, I'm pretty sure it's a Path to Exile. The second card under the remand.
We have been given confirmation that it is a Path to Exile.
And we don't know what Tyler's drawn from the probe. And he's considering the attack at this stage. If you attack with just one of the flipped Delvers, it's a 3/2 flyer. It possibly forces him to block.
Oh no, I don't think there is a very good attack at the moment. But I don't know what he's drawn. Because anything he tries to do, Trent can just path one of them away and then trade for the other.
And there we go, there's the first Lightning Bolt.
At Liliana.
At Liliana.
Well, at Trent, redirected to Liliana, of course.
And then just passing the turn back to Trent. Trent, 2 cards in hand. And we know what they are. Drawing into a third. And we can't see what that one is at this point in time.
I think he may have drawn a land.
Well, land is certainly not what he wants. He wants gas at this point in time. But the game's very much in a stalemate. 11 all. There's the land.
Darkslick Shores.
Now, what does that one do?
It's a check land for blue-black.
Check land for blue-black.
Oh no, sorry, it's not. It's a fast land. My apologies. If you control 2 or less lands, it comes into play untapped. Otherwise, it comes into play tapped.
Sure. So both guys sort of sitting back, waiting for the other to make a move, waiting for the other to make a mistake here.
The old-fashioned staring contest.
Yeah, it's almost like having a Esper control mirror.
Yes, which you can check out on our commentary and game day for Bacchus Marsh.
Which, oddly enough, Trent's also playing. So, relatively successful win weekend.
Esper weekend.
Esper weekend for Trent here so far. And he's just having a look through his exile pile to see what cards he can possibly still draw to help him out of this. We lightning bolt away one of the tokens, so that's both bolts gone from Tyler's hand. It comes through for a possible 6 damage. Now Trent's only on 11, so
he's done this so Trent will lose his whole board if he blocks both.
Sure.
And Tyler will keep at least one.
So what's the right block here? Is it to block one with all 3 tokens? Is it just one each? Is it?
Depends on what you think Tyler's got. I don't think Tyler's got another burn spell. I think he's probably got counter magic.
Yep.
Because he's expecting Trent to par.
Sure.
Because if it's just another burn spell, all 3 go on 1, he burns 1, he still loses.
Yep. So we've got the path for one of them. And
the double block.
The double block for the other. No tricks there from Tyler, which I must admit is a little surprising.
I don't know if that was a bluff that Trent called or
possibly has a follow-up play for us post-combat. Just waiting for the cards to be shuffled now and put back into place. And here comes the delve, possibly the Tasiga. He tried to draw the path to exile with the tokens, so now he can put Tasiga freely into play.
Tyler's thinking 2 moves ahead, like in chess. He's sacrificed the delvers, so his Tasiga will survive the path because there's no path to exile.
Yep, they're very, very patient. Hopefully I'm right because we haven't seen the Tasiga yet. I'm going to look silly if it doesn't appear.
There it is.
And that's remanded back to the hand. But it appears that Tyler's still got plenty in the graveyard to put it out again.
What cards would you be keeping in the graveyard there? Would you just keep the burn spells and try and go for a critical mass? And
at this stage I think I would. Electrolyze, double lightning bolt. If you can get any of those back, you know, life is good. However, Tasigas just do not want to be on the field in this particular game. That's the fourth Tasiga we've seen killed before any activation or attack.
And a angler.
So these guys have both been very, very patient. And, we didn't even know that Murderous Cut was in Trent's hand.
And there's still the one
token. So we've got Lingering Souls token beatdown.
It's a 4-turn clock at the moment.
It is. And we've got a young Pyromancer there. So the token's probably on defense again.
Oh, I don't think... Oh no, he's on
it's 10 versus 11.
The dice was knocked. Yeah, it's...
And Inquisition fires off the lightning bolt.
Gets a token. Inquisition does nothing.
And gets rid of the last Lingering Souls token on the field as well.
No, I actually think that might...
So I believe that card there is Trent's hand. And Tyler's well and truly in control of this match now. Yeah. He's going to try and fire off as many instances as possible to make as many tokens as possible before...
Trent has a chance to draw his way out.
Absolutely. So here comes another token entering the battlefield, and that's a total of 4 power on the battlefield now.
And here comes another one from another Thought Scour.
So he cast a Thought Scour and drew a Thought Scour.
Pretty much.
Cast another Thought Scour, putting 2 tokens onto the field, and we've got 5 power there. So it's, you know, it's still a 3-turn clock, but in the aspect of this particular game and the cards that they're playing, that's pretty overpowering. The best thing that Trent can possibly do at this point in time is Lingering Souls.
Which is what he does.
That'll get him 4 tokens, which will allow him to block for a while.
The Tasiga plan of a big creature hasn't seemed to work out. as it dies to the spot removal very easily. Going wide with Lingering Souls is how Trent's managed to grind his way through most of Tyler's cards, and Tyler's done it through a lot of 2-for-1s in a sense of Electrolyze and Pyromancers, as you can see.
And so he comes in with some beats, still with the tokens. Trent takes 3, dropping to... No, it takes a bit more than that.
He took 3 last turn, which they just didn't adjust on the life.
Yep. So Tyler's in speed playing mode now because I think he can see an end in sight. Trent's down to 5, and Tyler certainly has a commanding board position right now. Doesn't attack with the young Pyromancer because he wants to keep that back, because he doesn't want that to die.
I don't know if
Trent's on 5, goes down to 2, takes 3.
Do you block there to keep yourself out of Electrolyze range? Or?
I don't think so at this point in time. If he had Electrolyze, he would have hit the token and attacked through with the Pyromancer. There's no real use either in blocking with the Lingering Souls token, which is why Trent hasn't done that additionally. Because you're either going to lose or you need the Souls token to help you win.
Yeah, Trent's got to just play to his outs at this point.
Yep. And that's a Snapcaster Mage, probably getting back a Lightning Bolt. Unfortunately, I think Trent's just holding a land. There's the Lightning Bolt. Tapping the red, casting the Lightning Bolt straight to the face. And that's game. It was a long one, but Tyler eventually got there. We'll be back with game 2 very, very shortly.